Welcome back to This or That with Kobe and Jatt. We were on hiatus for a little while.
We were. Oh, that reminds me. We should explain the rules because I saw someone asking, if we had ever seen the slides before. There are only 2 rules. We have not seen the slides before, and we only get 1 take.
Yes, and we have 6 slides today. I don't know what they're going to be.
Off the top of
We've never really done a This or That this long after the NA Finals.
What are they going to be
This long before
on?
international events, so it could be anything. First slide of This or That today. Better ADC. Reckless or double lift. I said we were going to have this slide. I was like, if there's any question they're going to ask us, it's going to be this one. And it was the first slide.
Well, what do you got then?
Man, no matter what you answer, there's going to be people that hate you.
Where?
I think international performance-wise, it has been Reckless. And last year, I would have answered double lift, actually. Even though last year double lift worlds sucked, but domestically he was better. Reckless, I think, is a larger part of his team's success. I was mentioning during the dive that he never builds Last Whisper. I think that's kind of cool. It speaks to his play style a lot, where he's always going for the priority target, which is something a lot of AD carries don't do, where they have to kill the tanks first. Reckless is better at not doing that. I think right now he has a very slight edge.
Yeah, I mean, double lift has been so good, and Team Liquid has been able to play around double lift very well. But there has been, during this season, his synergy with Ole, they've been very vocal also about working through a lot of the hiccups.
Yeah.
So I think there is a slight edge to Reckless right now, but they have also been improving the entire split. So I'm super excited to see these 2 bottom lanes to go head to head.
But European LCS MVP, basically 2 pentakills in the 3-0 final. Like, it's hard to go against him right now. So
Double lift should have an MVP.
Probably should.
At some point, he should have gotten
Yeah, just let's get to the next slide.
Though.
Number 2. This or that, better for closing out the game, Baron or Elder?
I would immediately answer Baron. I can see situations where you would want Elder, obviously, if you have a bunch of stacked up elemental drakes, and if you have guaranteed hard engage, and you can just, you've got like Righteous Glory or Kled or something like that, where you can just instantly get your team fight and use the true damage and stuff. Then there are situations for Dragon, but I would say overall higher percentage for Baron.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a nuanced question because Baron spawns at 20 minutes, Elder spawns at 35, maybe potentially later. And if this was Baron versus second Elder, that buff is insane. When you can get your second Elder buff, it's like you touch someone and they lose half of their health. But so many of my games end even before Elder Dragon spawns. Like the fact that Baron buffs up your minions, it gives you stats now. This usually is the one for closing out the game. But if it is stalled and it's a choice between Baron and second Elder, I would still take second Elder. I'm gonna go with this though.
Yeah, it's definitely close. Next one?
Next slide, slide number 3. I like that question, gameplay related. Who would win? 2014 Samsung White.
Oh,
it's a throwback. Or I thought it was gonna be like a, or
I thought
Dragon X or something.
Yeah, I thought there would be something from this year, but
so this is a question that comes up a lot, is like, what was the greatest League of Legends team of all time? And these are usually the 2 that get brought up in that conversation. 2014 Samsung White nearly had that perfect World Championship until they lost a single game in the final. And 2015 SK Telecom T1 was also equally as dominant, but did lose that one.
I have always answered this question with Samsung White.
Oh, sorry, they lost 2 games. I'm just remembering. They lost a quarterfinal game as well.
Careful with those. People will catch you.
2 losses, 1 loss. Both 3-1 finals.
I still, despite the extra loss for Samsung, I still have always said Samsung White, just because at the time, they had such an insane lead over everyone as far as jungle and support, synergy, the vision control, like Dandy's routing, like it was, everything came together for them. I felt like they had such a big lead on the rest of the competition during that time period. That like the blowouts were insane.
Yeah. The era of like 2015 SK Telecom World Final and beyond is more impressive, right? Because they would consistently win MSI, they won 2 World Championships, they made 3 World Finals in a row. But in that tournament, I think it was this team.
Yeah, it was almost impossible to even think about like, how can you beat them?
Yeah.
And nobody could come up with anything.
Yeah, it almost felt like they were trolling in like the semifinals. Like, Akali top. Like it didn't matter. They just play anything and they'd win. So I'm gonna go with this because of the vision control of that team at the time.
Next slide.
Full build, level 18, who wins? Jax or Fiora? Full build. So this is like 20K gold. This is a Fiora with, I think, full build, it's Fiora, because she does so much % max health true damage.
Also, to me, there's more outplay potential on Fiora's side. I feel like she has a little bit more agency. But I don't play top lane. So I'm just going off of
It's so
what I
rare
have had in my game.
that you actually get to this many items. Because if a Jax gets really far ahead in the game, or if a Fiora gets really far ahead in the game actually does end
Yeah, I think
before you
Fiora,
get
though.
to full build. But I think Fiora, especially when you're talking about dueling each other,
Yeah.
like if you're trying to take on 3 people at once, full build level 18, Jax would be better because he has more ramping up power throughout the team fight and more innate tankiness. But in a duel between these two, Fiora's going to win because she can apply her ultimate all 4 to one person.
Yeah, I think for sure.
Boom, that. Making us think about the slides.
I like it. Next one. Who would you rather have on your team, Faker or Prey and Gorilla? I would get the 2-for-1. I would definitely get the 2 pro players because I'd have a hard time pulling together
It's Faker, though.
more other pro players.
Faker, though, Kobe.
But it's Prey and Gorilla.
Faker, though. He's won too many championships. This is a tough question. Right now, you can look at the results and see Kingzone won the LCK, and the Prey and Gorilla have been to like every Worlds, and they always make it really far with a bunch of different teammates. They're great. Talk. And two is better than 1, right? If it's like I have Faker and 4 monkeys or Prey and Gorilla and 3 monkeys, I take Prey and Gorilla. But assuming you can put good players on the rest of the team, I'm still going to take Faker because he is that much above the rest of the competition compared to Prey and Gorilla, which are
What
still
about
above
like
the rest of the
UCal and BDD and Rookie?
So-
I would fill in with those guys. But also,
You give me
here's
the second best bot lane in the world with Faker versus the best bot lane in the world and like the second best mid laner. I take this. I take Faker.
Here's my next argument.
Okay.
Then. Prey seems like he'd be way more fun to hang out with. And Gorilla is hilarious. I've talked to him before, so I know he's fun to hang out with.
How many times?
I feel like I have more fun with
How
this
many
team.
times has Prey and Gorilla said hello to you?
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Every time you walk in a room with Faker, he looks at you and says hello.
Yeah. And he'll give you a thumbs up.
Immediately. Yes. Friendly guy.
That's true.
I'm taking Faker. Are you still that?
I'm still taking Prey and Gorilla.
It's Faker.
I'd have so much fun on that team.
Final slide, I think. What feels better? Playing Malphite against a full AD comp, that feels great. Or playing Gallio against a full AP comp? I think it's this, and I don't think it's close.
So the thing about being versus the full, damage type of the enemy composition, I think would definitely be Malphite. Like the Gallio thing, like you're building some damage now anyways.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal as far as, we're versus all MR or whatever, and he's got this kind of MR shield that's
What
like,
is that build
it's not
even?
that
It's
much.
like Abyssal Mask, Merc Treads, Adaptive Helm.
Yeah.
And then you're like, do I go AP?
I do like the feeling
build?
of just playing Gallio better than playing Malphite in general, though. So I feel like the baseline is higher, but versus full AD, Malphite, you actually just feel like a god walking around.
You can
They don't
build
do
like
anything.
800 armor, and then your Iceborne Gauntlet takes up the lane, and you're slowing everyone's attack speed by like 50%.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I think I'm Malphite.
You're
for
God
sure. Yeah.
in those games when you have gold. Was that the final slide, or do we have another one?
We have consensus
This
on
or that?
every single slide, I think.
No, Faker.
Oh, except for the Faker.
Faker,
Yeah.
Kobe. Every once in a while, people try to say Faker's not the best player ever and that you wouldn't take him on your team.
good.
You're in that cycle now, Kobe.
I just like praying Gorilla.
Yeah, they're really good. That was cool. Thank you for joining us on this or that. And I think we'll do some at MSI, but I'm not 100% sure.
Hopefully.
Stay tuned.